Hey everyone, my name is Shayna Porter. I am so excited to share with you today. I was an MSW graduate from EWU back in 2015, and I remember where you are now. I was there about a decade ago, taking a legislative advocacy class and kind of wondering what that meant for me and how would I ever use it again. But now I have the answer, and I'm so stoked to share it with you. So, just a quick story about myself. I obviously did the MSW program. I was a CTAP student, all my like little weirdies in there that are all cohorting together in that. I absolutely did love it. I continue to work for the agency today. I was a line worker or providing direct care and child welfare services for several years. And just in the last year, I switched. I now work for headquarters for the Department of Children, Youth, and Families. And my primary objective is peer support. It's really helping workers through the challenges of what they're doing, really addressing secondary trauma and how do we care for ourselves? How do we still focus on our wellness? And I really encourage you guys to be focusing on that now so that when you are in the workforce, or maybe you already are, and you really need to just keep that going because you can't pour from an empty cup. I'm also really excited. Last week I passed my licensure exam. Only took me 8 years to finally do it. So I also have a recommendation for you. Get going now, like right when you graduate. Start it. Put in your application. You don't have to wait, even if you don't have everything set up yet. Get your time clicking. I'm clicking away. Anyway, that's not what I'm here for today. I have a big ask, and I'm really hoping that you guys are going to mobilize behind us. There is a group of us in Washington State, and we are pushing hard for some legislative action this year. It's been going on for a few years, but this is the year that we think it's going to go to the governor's desk, and we need as many people as we can to get on board with this. And so I have this quick sheet right here. I carry this around with me everywhere I go so that I make sure that I know what points I want to have on a random moment when I have an opportunity to talk about it. So right now, we are running, it's House Bill 1222 through the House, hoping to make it to the Senate soon. And what it is it's a bill that would require medical insurances, private insurance companies, to cover hearing devices. That is hearing aids, and that's also bone conductive devices. You probably have zero clue what that is. I didn't either. I didn't know, didn't really care years ago. But I now have a 5-year-old daughter. I was not expecting my daughter to be medically complex. And so when she was born, she was failure to thrive. She was starving actually and had to be placed on a feeding tube in the hospital. And that was covered by medical insurance. Although I had my own expenses out of pocket, like co-pays and deductibles, when her head was shaped weird, they gave her a helmet to fix that. When she was having difficulty breathing, she received oxygen. She received a ventilator. We've had so many things that have been covered. But when my daughter at 4 months old was diagnosed with being deaf, she couldn't even hear my name. Our insurance company decided that hearing devices were considered cosmetic for her. So she didn't have access to that through our medical insurance. And so, although I was a state employee at the time, having some of the best insurance in the state, I could not afford that because I had all of these other expenses going on in my life. And you want me to spend $9,000 for a specialized device? I couldn't, or my family, we couldn't afford a bone conductive device like we were recommended. And so as a result, we ended up with a pair of hearing aids. I'm a social worker. The community rallied around me as I shared my sob story, and we had hearing aids donated to us. But the reality is, our insurance company never took that cost. I'm really grateful that several years later, now my insurance company does have a benefit that's helpful for our family. And this year, we're going to be working on getting another set of aids for our daughter that are covered by insurance. However, there are so many families across Washington state that still do not have access. That's unbelievable. I'm really glad to say that most of our families that are using state insurance, they have access to this. It's actually many of our working families that have private insurances that aren't required to do the extra mile to really to give someone an access to communication, to community, all of these things. And so we have a lot of Democratic support right now. So exciting. But we have a major obstacle in some other of our legislators that are really concerned about the cost to our insurance companies. And so we're focusing really, really, really hard on helping them understand, yes, we are asking you for $2,500 per ear that has hearing loss every 3 years. So $5,000 every 3 years is what we're asking for. They're concerned about insurance premiums going up, and I understand that. However, we're looking at a very, very small picture of the reality of hearing loss. When you look at the long-term impacts on a person, we're going to spend $400,000 on special education for children who aren't aided before the age of 18. We're talking about treatment costs for mental health, for behavioral health, interventions that these people may need due to being isolated. We're talking about social impacts. We're talking about vocational rehab or not being able to enter into the workforce. So really, we're losing money by not enabling and empowering these people to be active members of their community, to be working Washingtonians. And so I just really hope that you can join us. What I need for you today to do, I'm going to give you a link. You're going to go in, you're going to put in your address, you're going to verify your district. Make sure you're doing your state district, not your congressional. Congressional is federal. I'm not worried about them right now. I want you to find out what your district is. If you're in Spokane, it's probably in the single digits. And I would really appreciate you putting in a note of support to your legislators. I'll put the link below. You're gonna click on that. You're gonna put in your address. You're gonna verify. Check your little legislators. And please, please, please hit support and then write a little comment about why you support it. And just to make it easy, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna share some links on some really helpful information. But I'm not going to write you a template letter. I'm going to challenge you. And I also don't want our legislators hearing the same exact story from everyone. But I can tell you right now, they are counting all of those pro votes. I'm also going to put a link to the bill so that you can see kind of what the progress is. I really recommend you watching the videos. I'll share some additional links for that. But we have had such a great legislative session. Last week we had KXLY do a story on this with my cute little daughter. We've just been putting the pressure on, and it is so neat because we are utilizing our greatest resource. We're using our children. We have kids that are testifying for this, and it has been so awesome. Last night we went to appropriations. Several of us had the opportunity to testify, and for only the second time in 11 years, instead of waiting after the public hearing to hear everyone's opinion, usually they take a few days, a couple weeks, maybe they don't even do it. They send it to an executive session. Everybody talks about it, and then they do their vote. Well, last night they decided they had so many constituents present and they had these sweet, adorable children there that they took a vote in front of them and it passed through with a do pass recommendation. But we still need to make it through rules. We need to make it to the floor of the House, and we still got to send it over to the Senate. And I think it's going to get to the governor's desk this year. But again, I really ask that you join us. If you have any questions at all, please, please, please reach out to me. My email address is Shana, SHANNA .porter, PORTER @gmail.com. Did I say that Shana.b as in boy .porter @gmail.com? This is what I get for taking one take. And then also my phone number, reach out, call me, text me, I don't care, 509-981-0647. If you want to go a step further, you want to call your legislators, you want to take a trip to Olympia with me, you let me know, we're going to make it happen. All right. Thank you guys so much for your time.